Hi, I'm Don Gober, Minister of Music here at Parker Memorial Baptist Church. My responsibilities here are I am in charge of music for our classic service. I direct our church orchestra, the sanctuary choir. I direct children's choirs, and I direct our handbell ensemble as well. My story begins back in Jasper, Alabama. I grew up in Jasper with my mom and my dad and my older sister. My older sister was 5.5 years older than me, so we had a lot of different kinds of interests. I guess you could say I was the pretty typical brat brother. I used to love to find ways when I was really young of aggravating her just about any way I could. We grew up in church, so we were there all the time, and I heard stories of God's love and what all He did for me, how He died for me, and how Jesus gave His life for me from the time I was in cradle roll. At age 9, the stories that my pastor and my Sunday school teachers were telling me began to make sense. And God began speaking with me and dealing with me. And one Sunday night in worship time, I heard what the pastor said like I'd never heard it before. And I realized that was God speaking to me. God letting me know that He not only died and rose again, but He died for me. And He rose again to save me from my sins. So that Sunday night, with my heart pounding out of my chest, during the invitation time at our church, I went down and I asked Jesus to come in and save me and be my Lord and my Savior. What a great day that was. As I grew, I was your typical boy growing up in church. My friends and I figured out how we could get in trouble from time to time at church. But God's presence was always with me. When I was in the 10th grade going into high school, I had much more interest in music than I did in athletics. I ran track, but I was really active in the band. I sang in the choir at church, and I had my very first church choir rehearsal when I was in the 10th grade. I loved it, and God used what I did that night. When I was a senior in high school, I was serving part-time at a church in my area, and I can remember the exact day, the exact place, and the exact time that I asked God. I said, God, do you want me to do this for you for my vocation? And He very clearly said to me, yes. From that moment on, I began preparations to be a minister of music. Finished high school, went to college, at Jacksonville State University, met my beautiful wife Regina while standing in line to audition for a cappella choir at JSU. We graduated from college and went on to seminary at Southern Seminary in Louisville, Kentucky. She and I both graduated from seminary in 1979. In 1979, we went to North Carolina, served a church there for 12 years, and in March of 1991, we moved to Anniston. It's been a privilege for me to serve as minister of music here at Parker Memorial for over 25 years now. God's been with me through ups and downs, through good times and bad times. I could honestly say that the worst time was going through 9 years of my wife suffering with cancer and her death 16 years ago. But God's been real. God's been good. God has blessed me. God's blessed my children. And I thank God for everything He has done in my life.